Hi, I'm Trisha Taylor. I'm live with you today. I'm with Fun and Easy Crochet, and I am excited to get started with you. I will be creating this ruffles crochet Afghan section with you today, and we are going to have a lot of fun. In order to start this journey of creating this section, we are going to need a few materials. Firstly, we're going to need our yarn. I used worsted weight yarn. This one is the Premier Everyday. Its coloring is steel, or if you want the color code, it is ED10024. You can go ahead and grab the same color if you want to follow along my color scheme, or you can go ahead and grab any worsted weight yarn that you want your Afghan to look like. Next, we are going to need our crochet hook. I use the I crochet hook. It's 5.5 millimeter. So go ahead and grab your hook to get ready. You're going to need scissors. The scissors are going to help to cut your project away from the skein of yarn once you are finished with it, and as well as cut off any excess on the ends after weaving them in. Which brings me to the needle. You're going to need your needle to weave in those ends, as well as join, which we're going to join today. So you're going to need that needle. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Let me move things out. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my yarn, and I'm going to create a slip knot. So just go ahead and create your slip knot. Okay, once you have that created, go ahead and get your hook and put it on your hook. Make sure that your tension is good on with your loop on your hook. You want it to be able to slide and not be too tight. This will help make the ease of creating your chain and just the pattern so much easier when you have a light tension. You don't want it to be too tight. So we're going to go ahead and chain 37. So in order to create your chain, you just yarn over and then pull through the loop on the hook. There's your first chain. So you yarn over and pull through the loop. Yarn over, pull through your loop. And just continue doing that for 37 times. So just yarn over and pulling through. This is going to just create your chain, and remember, you want to keep it nice and loose. You don't want it too tight, because then it's just hard to get your hook through when you create your next row. So just go ahead and chain 37, and if you lose count as you're creating your chain, you can go ahead and count the stitches. In order to count them, you can see that each chain has like a V. So you can see this V, it comes down here and up over here. So there's your first stitch. Here's your second V, so there's your second, third, fourth, fifth. So there's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and there's your 13 right here. The loop on the hook doesn't count. So we have 13 chains right now, and we need 37. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Sorry, I'm trying to look up and not down. So 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, and 37. So there's our 37 chains. So go ahead and make your 37 chains. Next, we are going to go ahead and start single crochet. We're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in each chain across, giving us 36 single crochets. So we're going to go ahead and go into the second chain. So remember, you know your chains by the V. So there's your first one by the hook. You want the second one right here. We're going to go into that second chain. You should have 2 loops over top when you enter the stitch. So you can see the 2 loops, and your 1 loop on the hook. And then you're going to yarn over, pull through. You're pulling up your loop, and that gives you the 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through 2. So insert into the next hook, or into the next stitch, sorry. Yarn over, pull through, giving you your 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2. Continue doing this, go in, yarn over, pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Next stitch, go in, yarn over, pull up, giving us 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. And this is just going to give us a nice border, is what we're creating right now. We'll start the pattern stitch on row 4. So we're going to do 3 rows of single crochet. So we're just going to work this across, continuing to insert the hook into the next stitch, pulling up the loop and pulling through both loops, creating that nice single crochet. Okay, so as I create this, you can see that it's forming nice. The tension is nice. I'm keeping the tension nice and loose so that each stitch is easy to go into. You can see that I'm not really fighting going into the chain stitches, which helps when you don't use a lot of tension. So if you're using a lot of tension, try to roll your shoulders back and just relax a little bit and let your fingers be a little bit loose around that yarn, and let the tension up a little bit and just kind of let it flow through your fingers. So this week I had fun working on my National Crochet projects for this month, since it's the National Crochet Month. So I made the hat that I'm wearing. Actually, I just finished it the other day. It's the Champagne Cables hat from Furls Crochet. It was so fun to work on. It's actually been a couple years since I've worked on cables. I just haven't done a lot of cabling lately. And so it was a good refresher on cables. I just enjoyed being able to do that and to remember, you know, all the ins and outs with cables. Yeah, I just enjoy it. So if you really want a challenging little project that works with cables, go ahead and go to the furlscrochet.com and find their Champagne cable hat pattern and have fun with it. It's just been a lot of fun working with and creating, and now I get to wear it, which is so cute. Okay, so I'm at the end of this row. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to turn my work, and now I'm going to just work single crochets across this. So there's going to be 36 single crochet. So we're going to go into the first stitch. We're going to yarn over, pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. And you can tell where the stitches are. You can see this back ridge, or this back bump is what it's called, and it bumps you right over into the next section where the next stitch is. So you're just going to go into that next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. Again, you can see this back ridge. It brings you over to the next stitch, go in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. You want to make sure that as you're creating your stitches, that on occasion you go through and you count your stitches on the row to make sure that your rows have the right amount of stitches. Just last week when I was showing my X's pattern, when I was doing the first round, I did mistakenly skip a stitch, which threw off my whole pattern, and I had to take it out. So those who joined me in the live session got to see that. It was kind of embarrassing, but not embarrassing at the same time, because then I was able to show how important it is to make sure you're counting your stitches across. So making sure that you have all the stitches that you need. Mind you, you don't have to count every row, but if you do miss the stitch on the row you skip, then you're going to have to undo and down to that row. So just a heads up. So we're going to just continue this across. So I would love to hear what you guys are making right now. On what patterns do you have on your hook? If you want to leave a comment down in the comment box, I would love to hear that. You can even send a picture of your project, where you're at, or you can link to the pattern so that if other people want to follow along, they'll be able to. That would be a great opportunity for you to share projects and to share what you're doing. And it might give all of us ideas as to what we can do this week or this month for National Crochet Month. Okay, I'm at the end of the row. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. to get ready for the next row. And again, we're just doing the single crochet, so we're just going in, yarning over, pulling up a loop, yarning over and pulling through both. Go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. Insert, yarn over, pull up the loop through both. So that's what we're doing across this row. Just finishing up the border right now. This is our last border row. So I finished my cables hat, and now I am getting ready to work on the Crochet Guild of America's Crochet Along, which is their button-up neck cozy. I'm excited to start this project. As I was reading through the materials, though, I noticed that I needed 5 shank buttons. Shank buttons. Okay, I'm a sewer. I crochet. I love crochet. I've done some knitting. I mostly crochet though, because I'm new to knitting. But I'd never heard of shank buttons. I had to Google it to discover what shank buttons are. And apparently shank buttons are those buttons that don't have any holes in them. You know how they have the 4 holes or the 2 holes that you yarn over. But instead they have what's called a shank on the back of it, a little loop that you use to crochet the button onto your finished piece. So I learned this week what a shank button is. I thought that was kind of an interesting insight that I was able to pick up. So I'm going to work on the cozy and I'm going to use shank buttons for the first time ever in my life. And yeah, I'm going to have a good time working on that throughout this next month. So probably will only take me a couple weeks, but okay, we're done with that row, so we're going to go ahead and chain 2 because we're going to be working with half double crochets. So we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. The chain 2 does not count as a half double crochet. We're just doing that to get us up to the next row. So what we're going to do is we're going to half double crochet in the first stitch. So we're going to yarn over, insert into that first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. There are 3 loops on the hook, just like a double crochet would be. You're going to yarn over, and we're going to just pull through all 3 loops on that hook at one time. That gives us our half double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, insert into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, giving us 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That's our half double crochet. We're going to do one more regular half double crochet. We're going to yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, giving us our 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so now we're going to make a ridge here on the edge for our side border, just to separate it from these regular stitches. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a half double crochet, and we're going to do a front post half double crochet. So here you can see this is the post that's coming down, so we're going to go in one side on the right side of the post and go around to the left side, so we're going back behind it, and we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop and then pull through all 3 to make that front post double crochet, or half double crochet, sorry. So I'm going to go over that again. So we're going to yarn over, we're going to go into the right side of our next stitch. So here's our next stitch right here. We're going to go into the right side of that, around the back and up through the left side. We're going to yarn over, pull up the loop, and then pull through all 3. And that's how we do the front post half double crochet. So now we're going to actually, you know how I told you that we needed to have 2 loops on our hook? That's because we've got these V's on the next stitches. And we are actually only going to be working in the back loops. So the loop closest to you, this one right here, is the front loop. And let me move this yarn for a second. And then the back loop is the one on the back, so this one right there. So there's your back loop, and there is your front loop. So we are working in back loops, so there's only going to be 1 loop over your hook when you insert into the stitch, okay? So working in back loops, we're going to yarn over, go in the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. That gives us 3, and you can see that this pulls That means that you're just in that one loop, which is good because that's how this pattern goes. We're going to yarn over, pull through all 3. So we're going to continue to work across in the back loops for the next 28 stitch, well, for 28 stitches total. So there's 1 stitch and then we need 27 more. So we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, giving us our 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. So yarn over, go in the back loop, yarn over, pull up a stitch, pull through all 3, giving us our back double crochet, or our half double crochet in the back loop. So go in the back loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, go in the back loop, yarn over, go through all 3, back loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. And we're just going to continue this pattern working in the back loops. And this, when you work in the back loops, it's going to give you the nice ripple crochet pattern. So we're just going to continue this across till the last 4 stitches. So this week, because it's National Crochet Month again, my son was in talking to me, and he happens to not know how to crochet, and he was discussing things that he could do with his girlfriend, so I offered to teach him crochet. He may have rolled his eyes at me a little bit. It was actually super funny that he was rolling his eyes at me, which doesn't surprise me. He is 16, you know, and you know how teenagers can be. But so he rolled his eyes at me, but he was a good sport. Asked his girlfriend via text if she wanted to learn crochet, to which she happily responded yes. So I'm excited to say that I'm going to start teaching them how to crochet here in the next little bit. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and maybe I'll teach my husband at the same time, and then they'll be able to maybe create a scarf or something like that. I have 4 kids. My oldest daughter, and my only daughter, she knows how to do crochet, and we'll get to that in just a second because I just got back to the last 4 stitches. So I've got 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so here we're going to do another front post half double crochet. So here's your stitch right here, but we're going to go on the right side of it. We're going to insert our hook on the right side, remember, and come up on the left side, leaving that post right in front. We'll yarn over and pull through that loop. So let's go over that one more time. So we're going to yarn over because we're doing a half double crochet. We're going to go on the right side of the post. We're going to insert our hook, go behind the post, up through the left side on the other side of the post. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through. Then we'll yarn over and pull through all 3. And that's how you do the half double crochet front posts. So then we're going to just do a half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So this is where we're not working in the back loop, we're working in the full stitch. Okay, so we're at the end of the row. We're going to chain 2. We're going to turn our work, and then we're going to do 1 double crochet in the first 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3. And now what we're going to do, so we keep that ridge from that front post double crochet or half double crochet on the correct side, we're going to do a back post. So we're going to alternate the front post and the back post, and that will help to keep this ridge that created by doing that front post double crochet. You can see how this bumps right here and it's a nice ridge. That's going to keep it on the same side. So we're going to do a back post double crochet. To do the back post, you go behind your stitch. You can see the post is right here. So go behind, go under all the loops there, go in front of it, and behind on the other side. Let's go over that again. So we're going to go behind to the right of it. We're going to go over front and into the next side on the left side, and then we'll yarn over and pull up a loop. So you can see how that's just grabbing that post right there. So you just want that post to be wrapped around with the yarn. So we'll go up on the right side of it, over top of it, and this is a back post half double crochet that we're doing. So we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. So our back post half double crochet is made, giving us that nice ridge on the right side of the fabric. Now we're going to do a total of 28 stitches again in the back post. post, or in the back loop, sorry. So working into the back loop, you don't want to do the back post or the stitch for the back post one, so you make sure that you're working just in the next one because you don't want to add stitches either. So not only can you drop stitches, but you can add stitches to your work as well. Another reason why it's good to count across your rows. So we're just working in that back loop. Again, you can see me just going in that back loop here. It makes it so that it pulls up nice and high here, which is just fine. It's going to settle back down. So just work this across. So anyways, I was talking about my daughter, my only daughter, who is the oldest, and she knows how to do some crochet. I actually did not teach my daughter the basics of crochet. Her friend's mother taught her. I attempted to once, but we just didn't make it through, and she was at her friend's house and her mom was crocheting and they decided they wanted to pick up on it. So her friend's mom taught her the basics of crochet, and I've been able to teach her some techniques since then. So it's been a lot of fun to kind of work with my daughter, just to work on techniques and to work on different things with crochet with her. And then I have the 3 boys, and my middle son actually knows how to crochet as well. He's made himself a scarf before. He's made just random little things here and there, and just the other day he asked if I could help him make a hat. Okay, we're at the last 4, so we're going to do another back post double crochet. So we're going to yarn over. We're going to, remember, go behind because it's a back post. So we're going to go to the right side of the post we want. We want this 4th post right here. So we're going to yarn over, go in the right side, go over top of that, and go out the left side, putting the post behind your crochet hook. And then you will yarn over and pull up the loop. Let's do it one more time just for good measure. So we're going to go back behind. We're going to go to the right side of this post. You can see the post right here. You can even pull it apart and separate it so you can really see the post. And you don't want to go in the stitches up here. You're going to go into the post. So we're going back behind and into that post. We're going to go over top of it and out the other side. Yarn over and pull it through. Oops. So pull it through, giving you your 3 stitches. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3, making that back post half double crochet. Then you're going to yarn over and do a half double crochet and then last 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3. So that is the basics of our pattern. You can see that it's creating this ridge. Each section will have a ridge bumping it. You can see on the back side, you can see that ridge, and it just kind of creates a nice little ripple pattern. So we'll go through one more row of this, and then I'll show you what the top border will look like. So we're going to just do 1 half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So, and then we're going to do a front post. Remember the front post, we go through the front. So we're going to, here's the post. It's easier to see now that it's kind of ridged up, right? So we're going to go into the right side of the post, around the back, and up through the left. So again, that's in through the top. We're going to go to the right of it, around the back, and up the other side. And yarn over, and then just pull through all. You can see how that's creating a nice ridge there. Just creating a nice border. And then we're going to work in the back loops across the next 28 stitches, giving us our pattern. I really like the ripple pattern. It just creates a fun flow that I enjoy. A nice little textured pattern. It's fun to be able to, I don't know, run your hands over it and to be able to feel the ridges and whatnot. So we're just going to go across. And you're going to continue working this pattern, alternating the front post and the back post stitches so that the ridge stays on the correct side. And then as you work this, you'll work up to row 33. Once you get to row 33, then you are going to need to do the top border. So, and currently I am on row, to count your rows, you can see that, you can count on the side here. So you can see this is the row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5. So I'm on row 6 right now. So I'm just going to continue to work this. Oops. Just working this across so that we have what we need. Okay, so I'm to the last 4 stitches, so we're going to go ahead and go do the front post. Let me go through that really fast. So we go through the right side for the front post, and then back behind it and up through the left side. So again, that's go through the right side of the post, back behind it, yarn over and pull up. So you're just isolating that post, and then yarn over through all, and then do half double crochet in the last 3 stitches. Okay, I'm going to do one more row with you. So we're going to yarn over, or chain 2, sorry, not yarn over. And then we're going to crochet a half double crochet in the first 3. So just a half double crochet in the first 3. And now we're going to do a back post half double crochet here. Sorry, my work's getting up and out of the frame. So we're going to do a half post double crochet. So we're going to yarn over instead of going through the front, because we're doing a back post, we go through the back. So that's how you remember back post double crochets, you go through the back of the work. So go through the back, and then you're putting the post behind the crochet hook and going through the other side. So here's the post on the back side of your crochet hook. Again, so you yarn over, go through the back and up, go over top and through the left side, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. And then work through the back loops across the next 28 stitches, giving us that nice pattern. And I just wanted to work this many rows with you just to show you the pattern, show you how to do it, so you can finish. I want you to work up to row 33. Once you get to row 33, we're going to work the border. So we're going to just continue going across, working in the back loops. So yeah, I'm excited to get to work with my son on creating a hat. He's never actually worked in the round before, so this is his first project that he's working in a round. So I'm excited. I'm just doing a basic hat. I'm not doing anything fancy with him, just because it's his first and I want to make sure that he's successful, and sometimes it's best to work with just basic stitches when you're working your first project ever. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Okay, so I am coming to my last 4 stitches here. I'm going to do the back post. Remember, I'm going to go through the back because it's a back post. I'm going to come in front of the post and out the other side. So we're going to go into the back, to the right of the post, come up, go over the front and out the left side of the post, yarn over, pull up a loop, oops, pull up a loop so you have your 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3, making that back post half double crochet, and then just do 1 half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do the top border. So we're going to pretend like this was my 33rd row. So we're going to just chain 1 because we're going to do 3 rows of single crochet now. So you can see how the pattern is starting to form here, how you're getting those ridges. You can see the back ridges here. Just a nice pattern. You can see the border half double crochets popping right there, giving it a nice look. Okay, so now we're going to work single crochet. We're going to work 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Okay, now we're going to work in the back loops once again. This will be our last time working in the back loops, but we're going to work in the back loops across the next 30 stitches. So we'll work back loops all the way to the last 3 stitches. So we're just coming across. And then once I'm done showing you how to do the border, we're going to go ahead and we're going to join our ripple section. I'm going to show you how to join the ripple section to the our two already joined sections. I'm excited to get another section joined. I actually have a full ripple section already created, so that'll be nice and easy to be able to show you that. So once you work your single crochet, all the way across, we'll just turn our work and then do just regular rows of single crochet. Sorry, sometimes when I get talking, I slow down on my crochet, which is okay because I enjoy talking. It's good to talk when you're crocheting. I think that's one of the things that helped to relieve stress, is especially when you get together in a group to crochet, is just getting together and talking as you create projects. Okay, I'm down to the 4 stitches, so I want to do one more back loop single crochet, and then I'm doing 3 regular single crochets for the last 3. And doing that will create just it'll finish it off, giving a nice ridge here in the front for that section, so that it has a nice border all the way around it. So we're going to chain 1, we're going to turn our work, and we're just going to do single crochet all the way across. So we're going to have a total of 36 single crochet when we're done here. Oops. And you want to make sure you're under both loops. We're not working in the front or the back loop at this time. So you want to have the 2 loops when you insert the hook over top of your needle. So this will just make it so it has that nice border, even things out. Yeah. So it'll look good and everything will go well. So have you guys ever taught anybody crochet? I would love to hear who's all taught crochet and who's interested in teaching crochet, or your feelings on teaching crochet. I know that teaching crochet can be intimidating if it's to somebody you don't know, but I think it's less intimidating when you're teaching it to somebody you know. I think that, being able to show them how things work and stuff is fun, and I enjoy teaching how to do things because I like to share my love of this art of crochet. It warms my soul. Okay, I'm to the last stitch. We're going to chain up. We're going to do one last row of single crochet, so this is our last row. And then if this was the complete pattern, at the end I would cut off my yarn from the skein away from the skein of yarn, and then I would weave in the ends. But I did not do a full section with you. I showed you the basic pattern so that you go up to row 33 with that pattern, and that's when you start your border. And so once you finish the border, you will cut it off away from the skein and tie it or join it in with the treble texture and the X's pattern sections. So then we'll have 3 sections joined together for our Afghan, which makes me I'm so excited. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Okay, I'm coming across to the end here, and then once I'm finished, and you'll be on, let me just make sure I'm right. So you'll be on your row 36 is your last row. So once you finish here, that'll be row 36 on yours. On mine, it's definitely not row 36, you can see. But that's how that's going to look. You can see how the patterns come into play here. And then you have that. You can see the ridges over here, giving you the borders on the side. And then here's the border on the bottom. So, of course, that's going to be a lot longer than what it is here. But that is how you create the ripple pattern. So, we're going to go ahead. I've got the finished pieces here. And I've got my sections here. I've got my treble section. I'm going to be joining this to my excess section. So what I'm going to do, I want to make sure that the ridge is facing down onto the side with the ridge here. So we're going to want to put the right sides facing each other. And so we're going to do that, and we're going to make sure that your edges are lined up. Okay, once you get that done, you're going to want to make sure that you have your yarn. So I used about probably just over 2 feet of yarn for this area. So you've got your yarn and you want to get it on your hook. I don't know if you guys have issues trying to get your yarn on your hook, and sorry, I just bumped the camera so it's bouncing a little, but oops. Get your yarn on your hook. Voila, I made it. And then we're going to be working. We're going to be inserting, since this is gray, we're going to start inserting on the gray side. And so we're going to not work on the first row first. We're going to actually come down here to the second row, and we're going to come in here. And then we're going to, I'm going to go in front. Nope, I was right. So go skip this first row right here where I initially would come into the second area. And we're going to go into the second area here. You want to make sure you don't want to split the yarn. You can see here, see how I'm going through a piece of yarn and I'm splitting it. You don't want to split your yarn. Just work it in there. We're going to pull it through. And because this isn't already hooked to my other piece of yarn, you don't want to pull it through all the way, because then your end will just come straight through. You want to leave about 6 inches. You want to leave a 6-inch tail so that you can work that in later. So leave your 6-inch tail. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to come back to that first stitch. Make sure you don't break it or go through any yarn. You don't want to split your yarn. Then we're going to come up on this other side here. We're going to pull that through. I'm going to bring this down a little bit so that it's not so far up top. And when you bring it through, you want to make sure you don't pull this tail too far through. And then you're going to go up to the next, you're going to skip this area where you went in and come up to the next stitch. You're going to go through both. Make sure you're not splitting yarn. Oops. Okay. And then you're going to pull that through. You can see that this first stitch leaves a nice little ridge there. We're going to go on to the other side of this and pull up on here. Oops. Make sure you're not splitting any yarn. Pull that through. And you want to make sure you don't knot that up in the end. I'm actually catching my tail is what I'm knotting into, so be careful there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just continue working that. So we're going to go up to the next area, go in, pull it through, and then just bring it over top right here and bring it down over on this side. And this is just creating a nice stitch to be able to, you can see the nice little bumps here, and it will form a ridge on this one side and the other side will be smooth. So if you remember when we did our other, so here's our next stitch. So we're going to come up here, go into that next section, pull it through. So we're just going to continue working this all the way down, joining this, continue going down to the next section. You can look on this side to see where the next loop area that you need to go over. You can see how there's a loop here. So that's where you're going to want it, your loops. See, you can see my loops on this side. My bumps are going over each section. So you're going to go in and form that next loop over top right there. Come out, make sure you're not splitting any yarn. And you're just going to continue that all the way down, keeping a nice tension. You don't want it too tight, nor do you want it too loose. So we're going to come through and then over, creating that nice little ridge. Don't split your yarn. And then go down to the next section. And we'll just continue doing this back stitch all the way down, joining the section. So I can't wait to see your projects. If once you're finished with your section, I'd love to see a picture of it. I'd also love to see them join together, so you can go ahead and share that with me. You can show a picture down in the comments below, or just create a new post on the page. So we're going to come up to this next section. We're going to go ahead and do another back stitch and continue all the way down. All right, well, I can't wait to see your final project. This is how it's looking joined. You can see how it's got a nice smooth join on this side, and on the back side you can see a nice little ridge giving a kind of a border between the two, which creates a nice little texture, a nice little view. So that's how you join, and I can't wait to see your guys' projects. I hope you guys have a great time, and thank you for joining me today.